Hi and welcome to episode 52 of the Beks Creates podcast. My name is Beks and I'm coming to you from a sunny, for now, Bristol, where I live with my husband Paul and our now 2-year-old son Jasper. He turned 2 this week, so I don't know where the last year has gone, but yeah, we had a very lovely time celebrating his birthday, even though the weather was rubbish. We were supposed to be going out for the day, but unfortunately that couldn't happen because it was raining, but he still had a lovely time and I'm still trying to find space for all the new toys. So it's been a busy time. I think the last time I came to you was just before the first big flock, and I've wanted to come back ever since then, but there's just been a lot going on. It's not been the right time, so I'm here with you now and I can't wait to share all about it. So to those of you who came to see me at the big flock and came and said hi and that you watched the podcast, thank you so much. It was so lovely to meet all of you. It really surprised me. It still surprises me now that people watch. So to meet people who I haven't met before that watch was just so lovely. It really made my day. So thank you to all of you. It was so lovely to meet you. So the big flock was just wonderful. It was busy, it was exhausting, but it was so wonderful. If you didn't come this year, the dates will be out soon for next year. Get them in your diaries, get your hotels booked in Bristol, come both days. Like, it was just amazing. I don't really know where to start. I suppose it started as you walked through the doors, really, and you were greeted by a whole bunch of my family, which was really exciting. It was so nice to run it all together. So Claire and John obviously did an amazing job of organising it all, but their boys and their daughter-in-law and our niece all came to help, and they were just amazing. And it was, really fun having them as part of our knitting world for a few days. The venue was great. There was loads of space. There was loads of light. It was just comfortable. The weather was lovely, so people could spill outside, and there was a barbecue, which was so good. Had burgers both days, and they were delicious. And then the vendors, they did such a good job of curating the perfect mix of vendors. There weren't too many of one thing. Everyone's stuff was amazing, really high quality. Everyone was lovely. And yeah, it was just amazing. And I spent a lot of time, particularly on the Sunday, running the Bird Street stand, and we had the most fun. We were opposite James and Matt from James Makes Yarn, which was really cool, and Anton from the Raw Wool Company, who's just lovely, and we were near Anna from Alongavec Anna, who was just gorgeous too, and just so many lovely friends. I had Twin Set and Pearl behind me, and bless them, I kept sort of peeking through rails and shouting at them to pass samples down so I could show customers. So I was probably driving them mad, but I hope they didn't mind. And yeah, it was all just wonderful. And yeah, I spent time with friends and we laughed and I had loads of hugs and I did a bit of shopping, as I'm sure you can imagine. So I'll be kind of showing it as I go through because I have cast quite a lot of it on already. And you'll see I was very good with my shopping. I did not get seduced by all the single skeins. A couple, but not all. Yeah, it was just wonderful. So please come next year. It was a roaring success for a first year, but it can be even more of a success next year. So yeah, really excited. Don't worry, I'm already campaigning for them to do it twice a year, but I don't think that's ever going to fly, to be honest. So we shall see. I know Claire's watching this, she'll be like, no. So yeah, I've got a lot to show you. I've got quite a few finished objects. I've got quite a nice selection of whips at the moment, hence the reason I was desperate to podcast, because I thought it was a nice selection to show at the moment. There's a few bits of acquisitions that I haven't started yet, so I will get those out in a bit. And I've also got something which, if I don't go too long, I will show you at the end, that I just thought was a little bit of fun, but if not, I'll fit in next time. Anyway, so I'll start with what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Tolster tee by Rebecca Clow, never know how to say her name. The Crayabea. This is such a great pattern. It's so intuitive and easy. Although I ran into some problems with this. This is not my first Tolster. I think this is my third Tolster, I think. But I decided to make it out of cotton, so I think it's my first DK one. And I saw the new Yarn Smith's cotton yarn from Wool Warehouse, which is such a bargain. I think when I got it, it was on offer, and I think it was like £2 a ball, I think, for 50 grams. So I used 6 for this in the end, so £12. It's not bad, is it? And I got it in this, like, I think it's called cerise or magenta, I can't remember, but sort of the brightest pink. It's coming out a bit red in this light, but I don't know how it'll come out on your screen, but it's a lovely colour anyway. So I did swatch, because I'm fed up of making garments that don't fit, so I am really, really good about swatching now. But when I swatched, I got stitch gauge, but not row gauge, so I thought that's fine, I can work with that. So I knit the whole thing, and I worked on it while we were away for a weekend, so like all my car knitting, and I really worked really hard at it because I wanted it to wear to the big flock. And I finished it on the Wednesday or Thursday before big flock, I think. I can't remember. I think it was the Wednesday, because I think I knit it in 6 days. And unfortunately, when I finished it, it was giant. It was huge. Honestly, like, I like a bit of positive ease, but it was like out here. It was massive. It was falling off my shoulders. It was ridiculous. And I don't know what happened, because when I measured the gauge, I was like 1 stitch out over 4 inches. So I don't know what made such a difference. So I put it in a bag and sulked about it for 24 hours. And then I decided I really wanted this top for the summer. It's cotton, so it's perfect for wearing this time of year. So the next day, I got it back out. I frogged it, and I started again. And I started again a needle size down and 2 pattern sizes down. And it's come out perfectly. I'm really happy with it. I think it might have been to do with swatching flat instead of in the round. But who knows? But ultimately I'm happy with it now, so it was worth it. But I am counting it as 2 finished objects for this month, because I'm not knitting one for nothing. But I love it. Yeah, I'm just wearing it with like scabby old joggers, I'm afraid, today, but I've just, got it tucked in, and I really like the way it fits. It feels really nice. It is quite warm for cotton because it is DK, so it's not like a summer top, but it's nice for like slightly cooler days. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's such a lovely pattern. I've got another one on the needles I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, for bargain yarn and a pattern I already had, it was worth doing. Anyway, I've continued on my quest to make 12 pairs of socks for my goddaughter's birthday in October. She's going to be 10. She is a very knitworthy little girl, and because her birthday is at the end of October, I often either buy her or make her some kind of advent calendar. And so I thought this year I would make her 12 pairs of socks, which she can have every other day, and then maybe pop like just a chocolate in the days in between, something like that. Or, if I've got some other knitted items, she might be able to have those as well, like hats or whatever. So I worked out that to be on track, because obviously I've got to knit 12 pairs of socks by October, so it can't be one a month. So I worked out that by the end of May, I needed to have 6 pairs done, and I've actually realised I'm on 7. So I'm really happy about that. So I can't remember if I showed these last time. Apologies if I did. I don't think I did. I might have shown them as a whip. but I finished these. They were just a vanilla pair. The yarn, I believe, I can't find the tag, but I think it's from Craft House Magic, and I think it was from when I went to the Lay family yarn retreat, the Woolay retreat. Somebody just put a load of skeins on the table and said, help yourselves. So I think it was from there, and I've got a feeling it was either called Frozen or it was like a Frozen reference. I can't remember, but it's just this lovely like minty green with like little pops of darker greens, and there's a few yellows, just really pretty. And it's just a nice plain vanilla sock, 2x2 rib, heel flap and gusset with a garter edge, which I love, and a rounded toe, which is actually, sorry, making funny noises, which is actually my braided toe from my sock pattern, that Precious Skein socks, that's it, sorry, brain. So yeah, that's pair number 5, I believe. I am cheating slightly because I did find a pair that I knit last year that were sort of lurking in my gift box, so I'm going to put that in them. I'm knitting them all. So she's 10, but her feet are already a size 4, so I'm actually knitting them to fit her mum, whose feet are about the same as mine, a little bit smaller, so that when she grows out of them, her mum can have them, so they won't go to waste. The next pair, this is not in order actually because I just finished these last night. These are so fun, and they were so fun to knit. This yarn is all wool that ends wool, which I bought at the Southern Wool Show last year, and oh, it's just gorgeous. Look at it. I need to get some more of this to make some for myself because they've just come out so cool. Normally with a heel flap and gusset with a self-striping, sorry, let me start that again. Normally with a self-striping yarn, I wouldn't do a heel flap and gusset. I'd do an afterthought heel so that it didn't break the striping sequence. But I decided to go with it, and I'm so glad I did because it just created just a really cool effect where the stripes are so thin. It kind of did its own thing, and it doesn't really noticeably interrupt the stripe across the instep. So I was really happy with them. It was really fun. I was actually knitting on these at the Big Flock when I was in the podcaster lounge on the Sunday with Lucy, hi Luce, from Country Bumps, and Martin from Knit 365, who I didn't know before, and it was really cool sitting and chatting to him. We didn't have that many visitors in the podcast lounge on the second day. I think we were a bit early in the day. People were just arriving and didn't really want to stop their shopping to come sit with us podcasters. So me, Lucy and Martin had a great time. We were chatting about musicals and all of that fun stuff. But I got a bit carried away talking about musicals and realised I decreased the gusset too much. So I had to rectify that when I got home, but it was all fine in the end. So yeah, really pleased with those. I know she's going to love those, and I think I will make her a couple more pairs of shorties actually, because I think she'll find them useful and they'll be quicker for me to knit. So that's those. And then these I actually knit before both of those pairs, I think. No, it might have been in between. Anyway, doesn't matter. This was really deep stash, this yarn. So the yarn was actually a very old, see, this is show you how old this colourway is, this yarn is. It's a Mr. B yarn, so it's vintage. It's called Pajama Party, which I think was a little special colour that Claire dyed just for me and a couple of friends when we went to an event a long time ago. So it's just really wild, colourful sparkles, and I've always had it just sitting on the shelf waiting to be used, and I decided that this was the perfect opportunity to use it to make some socks for Freya. Do excuse me. So here they are. They're gorgeous. I love them. They're so fun. This light isn't doing them a lot of justice, I'm afraid, but you can see it's just got so many different colour pops. They knit up really quickly because it was just like, oh, what colours are coming next? And exactly the same recipe is the last vanilla pear. Very happy with those. There are two. Yeah, so pear number 7. So coming along well, and now I need to cast on a new pair to keep on track. It's, you know, it's always good to have a pair of socks on the go, particularly vanilla, just for that, like, you know, sometimes I get a bit of knitting time when Jasper's watching the TV or something, so it's good to have, like, you know, an easy vanilla project for that, or, you know, if we're in the car or something. Excuse me, sorry, I need to have a drink. I've got a very dry mouth today. Right then, next, this is actually a finished object from quite a while ago, but I'd forgotten to show you last time because it was already in use. So it was downstairs in the cupboard and I forgot about it. So this is my latest Simon shawl, and I absolutely love it. I actually had, now let me think, I think some of this yarn was payment for a flock I did before Christmas, I think, and some was from my mum and dad for Christmas, I think. Anyway, the yarns are, I can show you the cakes because I've got them here. They are Piglet and Sherry by Bird Street Yarn. One of my favourite colour combos in the world is red and pink together. So I just loved these. So I knew they had to be a Simon shawl. And I know there are Simon socks coming now, so I know what I'm using these 2 skeins for. So yeah, it was just lovely to knit as usual. Obviously the pattern is by Twin Set and Pearl, if you didn't know. It's just gorgeous. It goes really well with everything, this. I've worn it loads already. And there's not much more to say about it than that, really. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I'd shown you. I have pulled it, I've just noticed. So I need to do something about that, but there we go. I am not a person who manages to keep everything perfect, I'm afraid. I try, but I'm just too clumsy. Next is a big finished object that took a long time, but I really enjoyed. So this is the Vignette wrap by Helen Stewart. It was one of her knit bent patterns from last year. And it was knit in the Beks Creates Fade from Bird Street Yarn. So this is the colourway I dyed with John for their Christmas boxes last year. So this is Beks Creates, which he does have in the shop, and he has on zebra, which is really cool as well. So it's like pink with like turquoise, like a limey green, like a few speckles of really bright orange, and I think that's it. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Then I always forget the names of these yarns. I know, one is called Ice Cream Shop, one is called Kaleidoscope, and I've completely forgotten what the other is, but this is kind of similar to Beks Creates but on a blue background. Then these are kind of the Beks Creates colours just speckled on a pink background without the variegation, and the same with the blue. So they're kind of, you know, they're all related. And I was going to kind of make it fade, but actually I decided in the end that it would be really cool half and half, so that, you know, when you loop it round you get a cool effect. Oh my goodness, it's just the warmest, squishiest thing. I can't wait to wear it, although I'm not wishing away the summer, obviously. And it looks nice just like slung around like that. Oh, I'm really pleased with it. It's really super long. It comes down almost to my ankles, but I am only 5'2". I think Helen Stewart's pattern actually had 5 skeins, but I only used 4. I used most of each skein. I think it was like 90 something grams of each skein. And it was designed for like a 5 skein advent or a 24 mini skein advent, so it was supposed to be a little bit longer, but actually I'm glad I didn't do it any longer now, because it would have just been dragging along the floor on me. I did make a tassel because I toyed with the idea of making tassels to go on the end, so I was going to do like a blue one on this end with pink in the middle, and then on the other end do like opposite, so like blue in the middle and pink on the outside. But when I put it on, I didn't like it, and I didn't like how it sat under my coat. It was kind of too bulky. But I kept the tassel anyway because I just thought it was so cute. I just used a bit of card, wrapped it round. But I do love it. I might just hang it up somewhere because it makes me smile, to be honest. What's going on there? No. Yeah, so decided against that, but loved it. Anyway, so that is the vignette wrap. God, 20 minutes in, I'm not even on my whips yet. Sorry, this chair is really creaky today. It might be me, to be honest. I might just be creaky. Oh, I have found the label from this yarn. This colour is fuchsia pink. Fuchsia pink, and the shade is 3370. That's the Yarnsmith's Cotton DK, in case anybody wanted to know. Okay, my final finished object is a shift cowl by Andrea Mowry. You might remember that I made one for my mum. Was it for Christmas? I think it was. Might have been before that, can't remember. Anyway, I really wanted to knit another, mainly because they're just really fun. It's really fun using the colour change yarn. They're done with the Showpaw Edition 3s, which is technically a sport weight. Sorry, I think I dropped this on the floor and it's like covered in bits. I haven't worn it for ages. There's another one, sorry. So distracted. But I also was desperate to work out a bit of a problem I had with previous ones. So the one I made for my mum, I loved it, but the I-cord, so it's got an I-cord edge, which do you bind off in the I-cord edge? No, you knit as you go. But the one I did for mum really rolls up like this. So what I did was I knit the whole thing on a bigger needle to make it a bit more drapey anyway. But I actually changed the I-cord method. So I didn't do the one that Andrea Mowry suggested in the pattern. I actually did the one that I was doing on my vignette wrap from the Helen Stewart pattern. And this one does sit a bit better, although I have noticed on this side, it still flips up here. So if anybody's made one of these and has sussed it out or can tell me where I'm going wrong, because I just can't work it out. I don't know what's happening. And it just annoys me because I like it to look nicely finished, but I love it. I love the colours. The problem I had with one of the balls was it was all shades of blue, and actually that doesn't work very well with this project. I've heard Tracy from Wool and Wishes say before that you don't really want 3 balls that look like they're going to go together. You want to be as random as possible because you don't know what colours are going to be sitting against other colours. And actually there's patches in here where there's just a lot of blue in a row. So actually, if you're going to make one of these with the same yarn, go for crazy colours that don't go, that you just buy the ones that catch your eye, because it will almost certainly come out better. There's my top tip for you. But I did also in this one use just leftovers, like little nuggets I had from other ones. So just to try and mix the colours up as much as I possibly could anyway. But I will definitely make more because they're just so addictive. And they sit really nicely. Let me put this one on. They do sit really nicely. I don't always love cowls, but I just think it sits really nicely. It sits under a jacket nicely. It obviously doesn't fall off. Oh, sorry if you can hear that in the background. Jasper's just been out for a car nap with Paul because he's not very well. He's got a cold and he couldn't sleep in his cot. And I can hear him wailing outside the house now. So it's going to get louder, I'm afraid. Sorry. Oh dear, the terrible twos are a joy. So that is the finished objects. Next up, I'm going to show you my works in progress, which there's a lot of. So my first whip was an acquisition from Big Flock, the yarn. And the pattern was one I already had, but also inspired by Big Flock. Because, as I said, I met Anna from Along and Back Anna, and I'd made this before. This is the Iris tank top, which which is just so beautiful. I've made it before, but unfortunately the one I made before, I loved making it, but I made it too short. I'm not like a cropped top kind of person, and I think even though I'm quite short, I think I have a longish body, so it just didn't work and I don't wear it. So I'm going to use that to measure up and make sure I make this one the right length. Now the colour, prepare yourself. Oh, first of all, I'll just show you. It's in my Moth and Found bag by lovely Becca. Hi Becca. Who does, this bag does now have a friend. I will show you in a minute. And the yarn, brace yourselves, because this is not a standard Beks colour, but I saw it at Big Flock and I was drawn to it, and I wanted to buy things that I was drawn to, maybe outside of my comfort zone, and not just buy single skeins, maybe buy things that I could make some summer garments with. And I saw this and I just had to have it, which is like so unlike me, but it's such a cool colour. So here it is. I was reading quite well on the screen. This is Peppy. Let me show you. Hopefully that's what's the word? Focusing. Peppy by the Little Grey Girl, lovely gem. And it's such a gorgeous orange. I guess it's not that far out of my comfort zone if you think, I love sort of coral colours. It's kind of a pinky leaning orange. And I just loved it. And I thought it was super summery. I thought I could pull it off. So I went with it. And I've not regretted it at all. I love it. So here's where I'm up to so far. I think I'm on my 3rd repeat of the pattern. I think the pattern says you need to do 4 repeats, but I think I'm going to do more like 6. I'm not sure yet. So here it is. It's a lovely lace pattern. It looks really intricate, but it's quite intuitive. It is knit from the bottom up. So that does make trying it on harder, obviously. But I'm really enjoying the knit. I've got on here another one of my acquisitions. I don't know if you can see brilliantly, but this little Perspex glittery chicken here is from the lovely Claire at Unwrapped Yarn. I don't think you'll be able to see that. It's tiny writing on there. She's unwrappedyarn.com. Claire's things are just beautiful. Go and take a look. I had a lovely time looking at her stall, and also a lovely time chatting to her with her gorgeous Yorkshire accent. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm hoping to crack on so that I can get wearing it, because I think it looks so cute with like a little pair of denim shorts. And I'm just excited to wear a different colour, really. It's quite fun. Yeah, so that is the Iris tank. Watch this space. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. I'm getting through it quite well. The repeats are quite long, but they're very intuitive. It's easy to pick up on mistakes. And I also love the way, you can't really see now because it's not blocked, but the pattern and makes the cast on kind of slightly scalloped. So it's really, really pretty. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish that one before the weather gets any warmer, because I want to get some wear out of it. And hopefully it can replace the one that I love but doesn't suit me. So next, in my gorgeous new acquisition, this was the first thing I bought at Big Flock. And this is another bag from the gorgeous Becca at Moth and Found. Becca doesn't sell these bags online. She does shows every now and again. And if you see her, you have to get one, because they are a much sought after commodity. Becca sold these out by 10 o'clock on the second day. So yeah, they were, everybody wanted one. Just gorgeous. So this one is bigger than the old one. I'll show you my old one. My old one is, sorry, this one looks a bit used now, but so it's quite a bit bigger. I love the straps on this one. I think they're really smart with the little brass fixings on there. The pockets are great on the outside. I think there's sort of one pocket on each end. Oh no, there's 2 pockets on this end and 1 on that end. Then Becca makes all her bags. Let me find her tag actually, because it is in here. So there's her tag, and it says Moth and Found make project bags for makers using organic and reused fabrics. So I know Becca spends a lot of time like trawling for fabrics that she can use. And this one, I believe she said, was an old duvet cover. And I loved it. I felt like it was a bit deck chair, beach hut kind of vibes. Really cute. It's just such a great bag. You can fold it over and kind of make it into like a bucket. So it's really easy to work from. And speaking of buckets, that's exactly what's inside. So I am making, this seems to be a bit of a trend at the moment in the knitting world, I believe, the Scrappy bucket. So it's basically like knitting your own project bag. It's by the Passionate Spinner. I don't know if I've got her actual name. No, just Passionate Spinner. And it's just a great like scrappy project. So what I'm using to make it is I made two massive cakes of all my self-striping leftovers ages ago. I decided to use one of those just held with, this is Grace by Bird Street Yarn, just a pale green tonal. So I could hold them together and marl them. And this project's great. I picked this up, I knit on it for like one day and then I put it down, but it makes such quick progress. So basically you knit a circle, so it's like the bottom of the bag, and it's a bit like a Musselburgh hat if you've ever knit one of those. You knit the sides, then you knit a welt that is the drawstring cord, and then you knit the same again and stuff it inside, so it's like a lined bag. So it'd be really fun. I think I just did it really because I just wanted to use up some scraps and try something a bit different. The decreases on the bottom are really pretty, and this has worked really well because the first self-striping yarn I had in my cake basically did the whole of the bottom, so that worked really well. And now I know that was a Fab Funky Fibres stripe, and this one is a Twisted Limon one, which was my first ever self-striping yarn that I bought, so that's quite a cool memory. So yeah, it's just sort of working my way through that, but I can imagine making a few of these, to be honest. You have to then make an I-cord pull string at the end to put through. So yeah, really cool project that. I think I've probably sized up a needle from the pattern because I just do, but obviously it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I have sized up. It doesn't really matter because you can just sort of decide if you like the gauge, you can make a bigger bag. So you could, I guess, do 3 strands held together, or DK and a fingering, something like that. But I just thought it was a really cool little project to try out. So yeah, really enjoying that one. Can recommend it. Next, this was a new acquisition as well from a lovely new friend. This gorgeous bag is from the delightful Laura, Beki Yarns. She's just so sweet and she loves a chat, which, if you know me, I love a chat too. So it was very nice to have a good chinwag with somebody. Not that I didn't the whole weekend. I saw this bag and A, I couldn't resist because it's dinos, and B, Laura told me that these white dinos are glow in the dark, so just very fun. And the lining is really cool too. Oh no, I caught the yarn in there. The lining is a bit like dinosaur scales. It's really cool. I love it. Such a nice bag, really affordable too. If you haven't seen Laura's stuff, go check her out. It's absolutely lovely. And I also met her lovely twins, who are the namesakes behind Beki Yarns. Very clever what she's done there. And yeah, I also bought some yarn as well, so I'll show you that in a minute. But in here is another of my acquisitions as a whip. So I went back to Gem at the Little Grey Girl on the second day because I've seen this yarn. What's happened there? I've seen this yarn on so many occasions, like photographs on her Instagram, that sort of thing. And every time I'm like, oh my God, that blue is amazing. I love that blue. I was like, why haven't I ever bought it? So I went and I was like, I walked past her stand because I was going to do something else. I was looking for somebody or something, I can't remember. But I walked past and went, Gem, I want 2 of those skeins. I'll be back in a minute to pay for them. So she put them to one side for me and I went back and grabbed them later. So this is Stansfield. And it's just glorious. I mean, look at that colour. It's so summery, just beautiful. yeah, Stansfield on high twist sock. So I got 2 skeins to make another Tolster. So I don't think the photo's printed out, but I'm wearing one anyway, so you know what they look like. The great thing about the Tolster is it's really adaptable, and Rebecca sort of sends through a document with kind of suggestions for modifications to, you know, add your own stitch patterns and things like that. So what I've done on this one is, after I did the short rows, I started adding eyelet rows every 20 rounds, I think it was. So just going to get a bit of an eyelet pattern in this one. So I have done the neck, I've done the short rows at the back, and then I am working my way through the raglan increases. I think I'm getting there with it. I don't have loads to go, and it's just knitting up really nicely. Really happy with it so far, and again, I think it's a bit of a different colour for me. I'm obviously going for like bright saturated summer colours right now, which is nice because I don't want to wear the same thing all the time. So yeah, really enjoying that one. Really fun. Love it. Yeah, so I'm saying a lot, I'm aware. It's really hot in here. Really hot, but I can't open any doors or windows because it just gets noisier. Okay, so my final whip is actually not going to carry on being a whip, but I just wanted to show you anyway because I am going to come back to it, I think. So a little while ago, it was quite a while ago, I think, I'd finished something and I think I was a bit of a loss, didn't quite know where to go next. So I thought, right, I'll just cast on something scrappy. I've got loads of scraps I could do with using up, and just have a play really. So I cast on a cowl, and I wanted to do like slip stitch colour work in just really pretty pastel-y colours to make a cowl. But the mistake I have made is I've knit it on needles that are too small and with not enough stitches, so it's quite, the circumference isn't very big and the gauge is really tight, which I don't mind, but it means really slow progress, and I don't think it needs to be that tight because obviously the slip stitches gives it a bit of what's the word, like a bit more thickness, and it just makes progress really slow because you're slipping stitches, you're not making as quick progress as just knitting round and round. But I do love it, I love the effect, so I am going to revisit it on bigger needles with more stitches. I think I just used 100 stitches for this, but I'm going to go up a bit bigger. But I do remember I was knitting on this when the London Marathon was on. That's funny, things you remember, isn't it? But I love the colours I've chosen. I just picked, you know, most of the palest pastels out of my stash, although I don't quite love how it's coming out, so I might make a few tweaks to the colours, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It was just about playing, to be honest. So I will circle back to that, but as you can see at the moment I am on quite a garment kick, so I'm going to roll with that. I've got some more garments planned, but you'll see those as they come. So, acquisitions. Now, the first acquisition I want to show you was not from Big Flock, it's from Amazon, but it was a cool idea that I picked up. Sorry, just found a pattern, I'll be looking for that later. It was a really cool tip that I picked up at Big Flock. So I was chatting to lovely Nikki, who is Lupin Lane Handmade, and she was knitting away on a garment, and she had her sleeve stitches on hold on barber cords, and she had these holding her stitches on the barber cords. So they're just, hang on, it's not the way to show you, just little plastic toggles. And I was like, what a genius idea, because I'm forever trying to knot the barber cords, but I don't think it does them much good because it stretches them a bit and flattens them out. So yeah, you just literally, these were about, I think they were £6 for 80 on Amazon, so get a box and share them around your knit club. Yeah, so you just pop the barber cords through there once the stitches are on and slide it up and they stay on. It's just genius, honestly. I was like, it's so simple but so clever. So now I keep a few of these in the tin with my barber cords, and we'll probably stick some in my like notions pouches as well. But yeah, complete bargain, really clever idea. Loved it. I can't believe I haven't seen it before, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, so while we were sitting there chatting to Nikki, Lucy and I both ordered some because we just thought it was so cool. So I said I bought some yarn from Laura at Bellica. Laura doesn't name her colourways, so this doesn't have a name, but it just called to me these like zingy, fresh, springy colours, that pink and green. I just loved it. And some like real highlighter yellow. Loved it. And that's a 4-ply, just 75.25. So I expect it'll be socks, but who knows? Watch this space. Pop that up there on my stash. Then I met the lovely Helen from the Wall Kitchen. I bought yarn from her at Unravel like probably 7 years ago, but it was really nice to have a chat with her. She's really lovely, and her yarn is just so cool and different, isn't it? So I bought this one, which is just, it's amazing. It's merino silk 50/50, so it is luxurious, drapey, soft, gorgeous, and the colour is called Champagne Supernova, and I think I'm going to knit something like a one skein shawl from this because it's too pretty to be socks and too luxurious to be socks. It needs to be around my neck because it's so soft and lovely. And while I was chatting to Helen, she gave me this pattern which is called the Stop, Drop and Pop shawl, and it's an assigned pooling pattern. So sort of when you get the pooling on the yarn, you do something wherever it lands, so it sort of ends up really individual, I guess. So I don't know if I'll make that with it, but I'm gonna make something lovely to wear with that. So yes, very pleased with that. Then my payment for helping with the weekend was these gorgeous skeins, which are, the colourway is Deepest. They're obviously from Bird Street. I got 2 on the alpaca silk cashmere base because why wouldn't you? It's gorgeous. We sold a lot of this that weekend. Absolutely glorious. I won't bang on about it because you've heard me bang on about it before, and to be honest, it's probably getting annoying now. Just go and buy it. And then 2 on the cloud base, sorry, which is baby Surrey alpaca, mulberry silk lace. And again, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I'm going to make the primrose slipover by Along of Ekana, which is one of the ones where it's just like almost like a tabard with a tie on the sides. And I think Fran and I, Fran from Franny Do Makes, are going to do a bit of a knit along together, because I noticed on her last podcast she was talking about doing one of those, and I messaged her and said, oh, you want the primrose slipover? And then this weekend all of Anna's patterns are on a spring discount, so we got 30% off the pattern. So when we sort of get round to knitting it, I think we're going to start together and see how we get on, so that'll be fun. Then I've just got a couple of other bits to show you. The gorgeous, gorgeous Rachel from Fly Dyed, who is the best hugger, like the best hugger. I had many hugs with her. I think she was I think she thought I was stalking her in the end, to be honest, but she loves me, it's fine. She was doing a £1 lucky dip, which was really cool, but she very kindly offered to give half of the money to a charity very close to my family's heart. So I obviously had to go and support her. So I had a couple of goes, and I was really chuffed because I got this Fly Dyed pin badge, which is perfect because I've got my I've got a big notions bag with I keep everything in, and I put my pins all over it, and they're all kind of mainly pins from like friends' businesses, things that have been gifts from friends or from shows that I've seen. So it's really nice to have one of Rachel's on there. And then appropriately, I think I picked this one as well, which was Badass Knitters Collective, a Makers Collective, which, you know, you can make up your mind or not if that suits me, but I just thought it was funny. And then my lovely friends Rach and Joe at Twin Set and Pearl had a lovely stand. Their stand was so cool. It was like their own little knitters lounge. It was so homely and cute. I loved it. And they had loads of their samples for you to try on and lovely postcards with links to their patterns. And they had got a bit of merch to give out. So got a Twin Set and Pearl sticker. So that's going to have to go. I'll tell you where I need to put that. I need to put that on my designing notebook because I feel like that would be good designing vibes. Because these girls are prolific. That's what I'm going to do. And then also this gorgeous little bag tag, which was also made by Claire of Unwrapped Yarn, who's insanely clever. And I will decide in a minute which one of my bags to put that on. It'll have to be a Twin Set and Pearl pattern, won't it? Maybe I'll put it up here with the yarn for my Simon socks, and when I knit those, that can go on the bag. And I think that's it for all the knitting. Well, not quite. So the other day I was reading a story to Jasper and I realised we have quite a lot. Hang on, let me backtrack a bit more. If you don't know me, you might not know that what my other passion beside knitting and crochet is children's books. I adore them. Since before I was a teacher, I sort of appreciated the illustration because I studied art. And then obviously when I was a teacher, it was just an excuse to buy them. So I have an extensive children's book collection and kind of it's getting added to now. Still, I buy them for myself for school. And then obviously Jasper's got loads too. So the other day I was reading to Jasper and I realised we do have a few books that kind of have a knitting yarny theme that run through them. And I just thought it might be fun to share on here in case anybody sort of needed ideas for their children, or like if you're buying presents for like knitter friends' children or something like that, it might just be fun. So I just thought I'd share them. If it's not of interest to you, you can turn off, but I just thought it might be fun. So this at the moment is Jasper's favourite book. Brenda is a sheep. Now obviously you can see that Brenda is not a sheep but is trying to blend in with the sheep. I couldn't possibly speculate on her motives, but anyway, the sheep love Brenda and they all want to be like Brenda because her wool is knitted and colourful. So this is my very favourite page on the book where the sheep are trying to be like her. So they're like shearing themselves and spinning and knitting to make jumpers to look like Brenda. I just think it's so funny. And it ends happily, I will tell you. Nobody gets eaten apart from a lot of grass. And it's just a very sweet, very funny little book, quite simple, but we always enjoy reading that one to Jasper because it's just hilarious. So that's Brenda as a Sheep by Morag Hood. This one I've not read in a long time, but it's really beautiful. It's called Extra Yarn. It's by Mac Barnett and illustrated by John Classen, who's a really cool illustrator. The colours are just beautiful in this book. It's a very gentle, quiet story, but all the things are made out of like little knit stitches. It's so pretty. Really gorgeous book, this. I don't think I've ever read this one to Jasper yet. I kind of sort my books into like slight age order. So this is probably like on the kind of later in Key Stage 1 kind of end. But it's super cute, this book. Really super cute. You know, she runs out of yarn. Nightmare. Nothing any of us would ever do, is it? And it's got a cute little dog as well. So yeah, that's a gorgeous book. And then finally, this is such a fun one. I find myself reading this to Jasper quite a lot. Stanley the Amazing Knitting Cat. It's by Emily Mackenzie, who's again a really cool illustrator. And it's all about a cat called Stanley who knits things for all his friends. But then there's a competition to knit something amazing. So he unravels all the things that he made for his friends and wins the competition, but then realises all his friends are cold, so he has to help them out. But he makes a very cool knitted hot air balloon. I don't know if any of you have ever had one of those on your finished object pile, but yeah, really cute story. So yeah, I just thought I'd share those with you for a bit of fun, to be honest. But I think that's everything for now. I don't know when I'll be back, but I will be back as soon as I can, hopefully with a few more finished things to show you. And I hope you're all doing well, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.